Hi, it's Stephen here from Son of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 31 of the January daily draw. So as we start the weekend, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Linestrider Tarot, followed by an Oracle card from the Enchanted Map Oracle. So let's use our first card and get the reading underway. So we've reached the end of the month. This is the last day of January. So let's see how we finish the month off. Okay, here we go. The High Priestess. Love it. Did we not start with the High Priestess? No. We didn't. I don't think we've had the High Priestess. I thought we had. Oh, we have. It was not too long ago. Anyway. High Priestess. So, that inner voice again that we're going back to what we heard before. And maybe one of the lessons of the past month has been to not neglect reconnecting with ourselves and listening to that intuitive inner voice, having the hermit moments. I think that came up several times. We will, of course, do the review of January with the month ahead spread for January and reviewing that as well as the daily draw. So I'll get onto that as soon as I am able. And of course, we will have to do the month ahead spread for February, which starts tomorrow with the draws. But here today, we're with the High Priestess. And as I say, this is a bit perhaps of connecting spiritually to the subconscious, to the unseen realm, getting that spiritual knowledge and experience, drawing upon that, listening again for that intuitive voice that will guide us beyond what we can see and hear and feel in the physical world around us. We gain an extra sense, an extra insight that's important because it could give us an element to something that we're missing. That's important for us to include in our assessment of a situation or an understanding about ourselves and how we need to grow and respond in a situation, etc. So that's why those hermit moments that I've mentioned before, where we draw aside for a certain time and a certain purpose, are important. And the High Priestess would tell us how important that is. And to get the balance between different aspects, you know, we can't just we have to unite this realm with the unseen realm. We have to unite the things we see and experience, etc., with our physical senses, and we've balanced that with our non-physical senses, our intuitive voice, all the spiritual senses that we have, our antenna, spiritual antenna, linked to the universe and linked to our inner selves, which is, we're connected in that way. Depending what spiritual path you walk on and framework that you're working with and understanding your belief system. But it doesn't really matter because most of them incorporate this little knowing voice, this knowing prompt from within, and becoming connected with our true selves. And the way we do that is through practice, through meditation, And I don't mean just sitting in a certain position chanting various incantations, which you can do, which is part of it, but it's not exclusively that, of course. Even something simple like going for a walk, particularly by in nature, natural elements and natural things like rivers and trees and mountains, and if you have them, and hills, and the earth, and all of the, and getting out into the air, the wind, all the elements that we get in nature connect us to that universal energy, both without and within, and can be an important sort of tool for connecting to our inner selves and that subconscious realm. And things can come to the surface when we come aside from all the noise and clutter of the world around us, and we get to it's like, particularly if you're in a town or a city, you've got noise, traffic, you've got other noises, you've got machinery, you've got you've got, as I say, you've got traffic, you've got people chattering and making a noise, you've got probably sirens or bells or something, like you've got all these different noises around you. In the midst of all that, you will have trees rustling and birds singing, but you won't necessarily be too conscious of those because other noises drown that out. Whereas if you go out of the way of the other noises, you then suddenly begin to hear the birds and hear the rustle in the trees. But it's not that it begins then. It's always been there. We just become suddenly aware of it more because of our shift in where our senses are and where we're placing our attention and the environment to which we're moving to. We're creating a conducive environment to hear those things. They've always been there, but they often get drowned out. So one way that we could do this is to get to a place, a situation, an environment that's conducive to going within and hearing that intuitive voice, where and it's not that it suddenly starts speaking. It's already speaking to us, but we don't often hear it because other things are crowding it out. When we get rid of that, the noise, we suddenly become aware of what was there all the time. And that's what I believe the High Priestess is teaching us today. The importance of that. That's one lesson. That's one bit of knowledge. That the symbols, the messages, the sounds, the feelings, the knowing is always there, but we're not always aware of it or conscious of it. The High Priestess would say that we need to bridge that gap and cross that bridge to hear it. Get ourselves into a place where we can hear it better. And once we're informed and enlightened and fed by that revelation, that awareness, then that will open ourselves up to even more possibilities of when we go back to the things we need to do on a day-to-day basis. We will see it in a new light. We'll see ourselves in a new light and be better equipped to face it. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Ghostlands again. I think we had this yesterday. We did. It's come back. It's time to thaw out the ice that traps us in that position. There may be, that inner voice may reveal to us things that are holding us back into the past that we need to release, to thaw out, so we can move forward with our time We feel that we were talking yesterday about the time seeming to move slowly, and we had the Eight of Wands, didn't we? Which was time for things to gather momentum. In order to do that, we need to free up ourselves, that maybe, to unburden ourselves of something that's weighing us down. And once we've done that, we'll feel lighter, and more readily that momentum will be more easy to achieve and maintain. And I believe that is what the High Priestess is probably wanting us to go and find out what it is that we need to let go of as we move forward. And that is the message of the cards today. Okay, so that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 1 of the February draws. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone. And I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.